TFR Network, CFR News. Good day, good night, all. Shalom, balance. Hola, bonjour. All of the universal greetings. Thank yourself for tuning in to this broadcast. And most definitely thank yourself for surviving the zombie apocalypse. Returning to very special guests, the one and only Jamie Dlux in the building. Welcome back to the broadcast, sir. How art thou?
I'm doing pretty good. My dog's barking. I might have to go let her out of the garage real quick, but I'm doing pretty good besides that. How you doing?
Excelente, excelente. Yes, it has been we've actually had some sun over here, Jamie. How about that? It's summer and we've actually had some very good weather. We cannot complain at all. It has been hot, quite dry.
Summer there too? Or is it winter in the southern hemisphere? Is that how it works?
That's it, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it's summertime everywhere in the northern. Okay.
Exactly, yeah.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it's been good, man. It's been good. People have been out and about. So yeah, cannot complain. I've done a lot of miles, man. I've done a lot of miles on the road. I've seen a lot more of the UK than I usually have. So yes, cannot complain. I'm being optimistic, but I doubt it. But I'm thinking maybe in a few months we might be able to jump on a plane because I don't know. Yeah, well, people are traveling, but there's chaos. There's not enough staff to deal with.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot. I've done a little traveling, but only driving since all this shit. Yeah.
Best way. I think it's the best way. I mean, I understand and I get it. And some people have successfully, don't get it twisted, some people have successfully been able to travel from the UK to, for instance, the Caribbean or to America without any problems. And they didn't take any kind of additional stuff which was required previously. So that was good. That was a kind of like, wow, okay, it's kind of getting back to normal. But as we can see, the chaos in the airlines are canceling 300 or 400 flights a day.
Exactly.
Today, Heathrow Airport had contacted the airlines and said you have to cancel your flights for today. In essence,
damn,
like it's messing stuff up, man. It's really messing stuff up.
Oh, it really is. Yeah, I can't stand flying anyway. Not because, well, I am afraid. Like I'm not afraid of heights, but I'm afraid of falling from heights. But that's not why. I like to smoke and stuff. You can't smoke in airports.
Yeah.
You can't smoke on a plane. You got to sit there forever. That's the only reason I don't like it. Hurry up and wait.
Yeah. Well, it depends. I mean, intercontinental, domestic flights for you, depending on where you're going, hour and a half, 2 hours on the plane or something like that. If I'm on the plane, it's 8 hours, man. I'm on that flipping steel tube for 8 hours.
I can't imagine. Yeah. The most in the air is like an hour and a half that I've flown. That's because I've only been up north and down south on a plane. I've been on West Drive, like touring, but
So you just got to so the tip for that, and as most people would do, you just got to preload before you get on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, take something.
It's the only way it's going to happen, man. But how have you been since our last catch up and stuff, man? How's things on your end? I still see the old BooTube is playing games with the old channels and stuff.
Oh yeah, I just keep getting deleted. They don't like me. But since I know last time we did one, I was at my old house. So we moved in a new house in May of 2021. So we're here now. It's not far from my old house, but it's a bigger house,
Yes.
And I know I've been deleted. They deleted my big channel. I don't know if they did, if I still had it last time I was on here.
Yeah, you did. You did. You had to strike. I think you had one of the last strikes last time.
Okay. Yeah, I had 76,000 subscribers and they finally deleted me. Then they came after my backup channel.
Yes.
16,000 subscribers. Then they came after a new channel I started real quick and they squashed that. Then I got through starting a new channel and that lasted about 13 months and I had like 12,000 subscribers in 13 months and they came after that and deleted it. So, I upload everywhere.
Yeah.
Now, so.
And I think because you are so prolific in that respect, in regards to being so in touch with the other platforms and stuff, I think you're getting a lot more cross fertilization. Obviously, the big quote unquote sort of beast is the old BoobTube platform. But I
Yeah.
think more people are realizing, yeah, we are spending a lot more time, a lot of time on here, but we realize the content creators who we like are getting shadow banned, their channels are getting deleted. So let's look at these alternative platforms. They may not be as user friendly as the other ones, but if I want to
They're getting there. They're getting there.
yeah, 100%, 100%.
Yeah.
But I think what they need to do now is, I think the front end looks a lot better now and stuff. It's a lot, and the uploading capabilities are good. I
Yeah.
think we need to develop that into an app now, so people can,
Yeah.
rather than going on a website, because still people are very lazy. They just want to be able to click on the app. Where's my favorites? Where's my subscribers? Okay, that's the video, and just play it.
Yeah. Some of them have it, like BitChute doesn't, I don't think. But see, I upload the BitChute, Odyssey, Rumble, Rockfin, Facebook. For some reason they don't really fuck with me. Oh, actually, they did put a warning saying that they believe that I'm partially funded by the Russian government the other day. I forgot about that. Yeah, yeah. For this video I put up was like, yeah. So they didn't censor it though, but they put that under it.
I mean, do you take that as like a backhanded compliment or something?
I don't know. I mean, I was put on a list like 2 years ago by a Rothschild, or partially by a Rothschild. He claims he's not part of those Rothschilds, but who the fuck knows? Number one, and number two, it doesn't matter. He's still David Rothschild, not the David Rothschild,
Yes.
but David Rothschild that works for Microsoft Research. He's pretty well known too. He wears a bow tie.
Yes.
Looks like a douchebag. Well, he was one of the people that put me on that list. Smearing us as far right. That's when I still had a channel.
Remember about that? You didn't you do a live about that or something?
I put it on a couple. I put it on like at least 2 videos.
Yeah. Interesting. You're doing the stuff, man. You're doing the works, young sir.
Yeah. Whether he says he's related, if he's related or not, still a Rothschild that works for Microsoft put me on a smear list. So I think that is compliment. I'm doing something right.
Exactly. You're doing something right because you haven't been catapulted into flipping superstardom with all the plaques and stuff. And
I almost had my first one. Almost.
Yeah.
I know I was bitter about it, but I used it as a way to get information out. And I did start a new one, but I'm just putting Hollywood stuff, all that old Hollywood stuff I used to cover.
Yes.
I'm just putting that on there because I never got messed with on YouTube with that. But mostly what I'm into now is, well, lately at least, is medical mafia, and you can't talk about them on YouTube.
No, you can't talk about them. No. Big pharma is no.
Yep, you can't talk about them. But luckily in December, Greg Reese, who makes videos for InfoWars for like Band.video.
Yeah.
I've talked to for a while. He's really good. I love his videos.
Very good. Yes.
Okay. So I've talked to him for a while, just like on Messenger or whatever. And he's used some of my videos in his videos.
Yes, I've noticed.
Yeah. So after a few times of doing that, he just asked me, he's like, do you want a Band.video channel? I was like, what? Why not? I keep getting banned everywhere. So that helps a lot.
I didn't even know because I know that other channels are on there, and to be fair, I only go in there and listen to Jonesy.
Yeah, no, whatever. I mean, there's too many different choices. I don't stick to one place anyway. But yeah, I know I did a Justin Bieber video 2 weeks ago. One day, 90,000 views. One day. So that helps a lot. Yeah, I do have a Band.video channel, and it does help. Helps get the word out.
It does. It really does. And as I say, in regards to the cross fertilization of the audience, and I think especially in the last year and a half or so, that and I would say this more based upon the callers, which could be more skewed because obviously they go for a switchboard first. It's not as organic as if we was to have callers. But it seems that it's more of a Christian background in regards to the listenership that Alex is sort of gaining at the moment or has at the moment.
Yeah.
So based upon that, it would seem that again, those type of people are going to be viewing the content and exposing themselves to again a different stratosphere or level of information.
Yeah. Oh, well, I went to the Reawaken America tour last month. I was just talking to you about, and I actually got recognized. Wow. I was outside smoking a cigarette, right? And this dude comes up. He's like, I chain smoke and say fuck a lot too. And like he watched my like it was so awkward to me. I mean, it was cool.
Yeah, yeah.
But see, I don't I feel weird if it's like a fan. So like I took a selfie with him and then I had to get his number to send him the picture, and now he texts me. And so I made a friend pretty much. You know? He was down from Greenville. His name's Jamie too. So if you see this, what's up, Jamie? How you doing? We're friends now.
This is it. This is what it is. Your goal isn't to have like experiences like that per se. I mean, it's nice when they happen, but it's about getting the information out. But
exactly,
at the same time, you are a character who is you're very honest, and I think people really appreciate your honesty. And of course, the information that you bring forth. So it breaks a lot of barriers down, because so many content creators have these personas.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah,
I am what I am.
Yes.
I am what I am. You know, I can't be anything else. That's for sure.
Yeah, best way to be. Best way to be. Because living.
I always thought I could never be an actor unless I took a bunch of painkillers, because then I could act however you want. I just felt great at that point, but I don't do that no more. So
that's a good point. That is a good point.
Yeah.
It does take a special somebody to be able to morph into multiple characters, but yeah.
Well, I mean, I was a drug addict for many years, and like my mom was too, though. And yeah, like we would take a bunch of painkillers and go shopping. We'd be singing down the fucking aisle like I feel good, you know, just scratching our noses and shit. But yeah, I could act however the fuck you want things. I felt great. Great. You know,
Mr. Invincible.
Exactly. Then we spent 12 years in the methadone clinic, and you know that was hell. And it was hell getting off. But you know, here we are. We're off now. I feel like shit, but. No, I don't feel like shit. I mean, for what I did to myself.
Yeah.
You know, I'm living. I'm working. I'm just going. So.
Well, in that respect, I mean, we have touched on this briefly. I think on the first time we had our conversation on health wise. What are we doing now? Because I think we've all, especially as men, you know, of a certain age, we've identified health wise that we're not necessarily physically the same as we once were.
Oh, hell no. I know. You think you are, then you're like sore for 3 days, you know, like,
exactly. So what steps are you proactively trying to or making to try and alleviate or fix the physical deficit that we may be facing currently?
Well, one thing is I do live in South Carolina, and it's hot, and I'm outside all day walking around, you know, or driving around, but mostly I do a lot of walking, hoofing. Like I work for, you know, but I work at a car dealership as a photographer, and it's actually 3 dealerships in one now, plus used cars and all that. So I'm always hoofing around and all this crap. One of my subscribers sent me this from Hawaii. They had a bunch of stuff in it that shall not be named, but recently, it's been so hot. I've been putting ice water in it. I am drinking a lot more water now, just over the past month. And this is like 2 years ago I got it. It's been sitting here, but yeah, I love it now. Thank you. But
excellent. So the
water,
hydration, yes.
Hydration. I know what I need to do. I just don't do it. And that, well, all right, first off, something we do all the time, every night, is walk the dogs, just walking helps a lot.
Of course.
Getting off your ass and walking.
Yes.
Even though I do it all day, but it's not the same, like frantically running around or just going for a stroll, you know?
Yeah. It's a different pace. You can go out, you can unpack mentally, spiritually, you know, you can walk leisurely rather than, as you say, hoofing around, taking photographs here.
Yeah. With the clipboard, looking for certain cars and stuff, like VIN numbers. Like, something I used to do, and I would like to do again, I just never do, is yoga. I did yoga when I was like 30. I was trying to get off methadone. Which I did briefly get off, but I got back on because it was, you know, I guess I wasn't ready for it.
Yeah.
I'm off it now. I mean, but I've been off for like 6 years, but at that time I wasn't. But I was doing yoga, and yeah, it sucked at first, but after a while, like I really, that's probably the best I ever felt. just doing like 20 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day or
Oh,
something. Not out anywhere. I would feel like a
yes.
fucking asshole if I was out
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Yoga
yeah,
club with
yeah. Can you
Hispanics on
imagine
or
that?
something. No, I can't. Yeah, there's hot girls there, but yeah, they don't want me. Look at me, like fucking. I get scoliosis, hyperkyphosis. It's like a bent back. I'm all fucked up and shit.
No, listen. After 6 months, and you can just master certain positions. You'll be the guru there, Jamie. You'll be the guru.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I was doing pretty good then, and I actually still did it for a while up until I had kids, and my son fell out of the bed while I was in a relaxation pose.
Oh,
He was napping in
sure.
the bed. He was a baby, and he fell out, and I kind of got traumatized. And he's 8 now, and I still haven't
Yeah.
gone back to it. So 8 years ago.
Whoa. That's
Yeah.
a subconscious sort of.
It is. It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or an excuse. An excuse. Either
As
way.
well, it's a built-in excuse as well, but subconsciously that is a big thing to get kind of over, because that I can imagine the kind of trauma you would have.
Yeah. Yeah. I was
Yeah.
so scared he was hurt. He was fine. He was
Mhm.
fine. Luckily, big heads run in my family and thick skulls. But I did it like 2 months ago. My daughter couldn't sleep for some reason. She was all, I don't know what was going on, but she couldn't sleep. I think she does gymnastics,
Mhm.
and we go out of town sometimes for her shows. I don't know if it was something like that or whatever, but so we were doing things to try to get her to sleep. She wanted warm milk. We tried that. So I was like, well, let's do some yoga. So me and her did yoga for like, 5 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
And it felt good. It hurt, but it felt good.
That's
But
it.
that's it. That's last. I did a little bit like 2 months ago because
Look,
she does gymnastics, so I figured it would help her.
yeah. Look, here's a challenge: 5 minutes a day yoga.
Yeah, exactly. I know.
That's
I need to do it
nothing, sir.
myself. Because
Yeah.
I really don't even need a video or guide
Mm.
to watch. I mean, I know
Most
what the moves are.
Yeah, most men don't need specifically a teacher, a guide. If you've done it,
No.
you've done it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's-
What poses.
Yeah,
What muscles you're supposed to pull.
this is it. And then once you get to a certain point, you're thinking, let's try something a little bit different. Maybe you go on the old YouTube and think, okay, let's look at some
Yeah.
extreme yoga, or whatever the
See,
different.
my friends would be like back in the day, like, because I shared this one guy I used to like, and they're like, Jamie's the only person I know that's watching yoga, and it's not a hot chick, it's a dude.
But that
I don't
just
know, man.
shows.
This dude, Rodney Yee, I liked him. He was a guy, like a yoga guy on YouTube. Yeah. Well, actually, this might be why. Honestly, it's kind of like a little bit of a longer story, but it's worth going into, I think.
Yeah.
All right. So I grew up playing music in the local scene and all over the country, but mostly, every musician usually has a local scene they started in. And when I was really young, like 14, I started going to shows and stuff, and the music scene here was amazing. And there was one band in particular, and I had their album, and they were like, the first time I saw them play, they blew me away. The singer climbed up on the rafters, and he's like hanging above us. We're pushing him up. They had a song on MTV, barely, but they got signed to Island Records in like 1994, 95, maybe 90. No, maybe it's 96. I don't know, somewhere around that. They got signed to Island Records.
That's
Made a
big.
music video. Yeah, it was. They were riding that whole Britpop wave, even though they're from South Carolina, but the music fit in, So they played with a lot of those kind of bands. Like, I don't know exactly, but I'll just say in the vein of like Cast. Well,
Yes.
Oasis, but then you got
Yes.
Cast, the fucking Ride.
Mhm.
I don't know if you heard of them.
Yeah.
Shit like that, and they were a major influence on us. Like, they were like rocks. They were in Teen Beat magazine. Okay. And
That's
these are local
big, yeah.
guys.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
they were getting big. They were touring all the time and stuff. They had a big album. They were called The Drag. Like, people think of The Drag now different. It was because of cigarette. You take a drag of a cigarette.
Yes.
So The Drag, and I was blown away by them. They were on the radio all the time, hearing shit, local boys, blah blah blah. And I saw them play like a bunch of times from the age of like 14 to, I don't know, 18, 19. And then, they put out a couple of albums and I think they got dropped by Island Records. And after a few years, they weren't selling enough, put out a couple of albums and stuff, and they kind of went their separate ways. And the singer moved off or whatever. Well, when I was about 30, I got a job at a restaurant in North Myrtle Beach, and the singer Chance had moved back to town, and he was manager. So he knew who I was, because he was in a band later on, but we weren't close. We never talked or anything like that. So he was one of my managers. He was like the coolest guy in the fucking world to me. And it's like working with this guy that I considered a rock star, that I had posters on my walls and shit when I was a kid. My friend now that I'm smoking blunts with, you know, working with and all that shit. And his wife graduated hair school, and he had me and my best friend, Ed, who's I'm still in a band with Ed today. Like, we've been in a million bands together. He had me and Ed come over with our acoustics, and we took 5 songs of his old band that we loved, The Drag, and we learned them on acoustic and had like a little mini concert in his backyard. And that, you know, in front of like 15, 20 people.
Yeah.
To me, that was full circle, though. That's Chance Walls from The Drag singing with me and my best friend on guitar that used to go see him play, you know. And he was actually, because I was an atheist at that point, he was one of the first person to kind of point me in like more of a spiritual direction, I guess, and got me into yoga. And that's who he gave me a DVD of Rodney Yee. So that's actually why
that's
I liked
the connection. And what were some of the pushing points that made you kind of go away from like, well, there is no creative force to, well, maybe like
I think it was slow. I think at that point it was just like more like a positive vibe thing, you know, and trying to look at the bright side of things kind of.
Yeah.
And that might have been a couple of years before things started to really change. I think the major shift was having a kid and seeing a human being grow out of another human being.
God, yeah. Yeah.
But I went through a whole lot then too. At that point, you know, years later, because I guess I was like 29 when I was hanging out with him and doing all that. But then I didn't have a kid till I was like 4 years later, 33. At that point, I'm with another chick. You know, we had been living together for like 2 years, and now at that point, I mean, like a year and a half, 2 years. And I was playing in reggae band around here 5 nights a week, sometimes 4 hours a night. Having a lot of fun. You know, we were making money doing it too, but it's not what it's about, because I had a job too, but you know, it does help. So I was having a lot of fun with that, and I knocked her up, and she wasn't happy with me playing. It was causing a lot of arguments and stuff. So me being the douchebag I was, started fucking around, you know. All right. So we have the kid, you know, and I'm trying not to. I'm trying to just like, you know, go back home and all that stuff. Like, well, we had the kid, and I mean, I was a douchebag. I was still fucking around. And, you know, I think he was a couple months old or whatever. So I was supposed to be at the studio, and I was hanging out with my other girl. I think we were just smoking weed in the car or whatever. And I see a car blow up, and it's her.
Oh, damn.
So I'm like, oh, fuck. What do? I hit the gas, right? She fucking hits the gas. She starts chasing us, me and this other chick. We're going just like all these little side roads and stuff. Finally, I get on the highway. She's still chasing us.
Shit.
Yeah. We're in my mom's old car. It's like a little Saturn station wagon, and she's in the car I have now, actually, 2003 Escape. But I knew she had more gas than I did too. So we're like downtown Myrtle Beach, right? And we get to a stoplight. We got to stop, you know, it's like downtown. And she pulls up next to us. And she has like a cane with a metal skull on the end. And she like reaches out the window and smacks my mom's car with it. I'm like, what do I get? What do I do? The police station was right there. So the other chick's like, pull into the police station. I pull into the police station to the front. She doesn't T-bone us, but she pulls up behind us and like so we can't back out.
Yeah.
I just look at her. I'm like, don't hit her back. We deserve this. So we get out. She beat her ass.
Oh, right? Shit.
We let her. But she got long nails, so there was blood because she still has long fingernails. Nobody came out and helped us. Nobody got arrested or anything. She leaves. We leave. We're all bloody and stuff. So then I go on the run because I'm too scared to go. And I don't know. It lasted like a week. And I was like, what the fuck am I doing? So I kind of went home and faced my shadow and, you know, got rid of the other girl.
Yeah.
You know, apologized, faced my shadow. 2 years later, we had a daughter too. And we're still together today.
Look at that. Look at that.
When that happened, I was working at a screen printing shop, and that chick was working with me too, like that side chick. So I couldn't go back, so I lost my job, you know, and there's all this other fucked up shit. So I was staying home with my son, and when she went back to work.
Yes.
So, and it was just like that isolation, being home all day with a baby and stuff.
Hmm.
That's when I
Hmm.
started meditating and all that. And yeah, about 6 months later, I read a sentence, and it was like, "You are a spiritual being living a like how to go? You are a spiritual being living the human experience, and you have yet to realize it." And I
Yeah.
felt like a shock, a vibration through my body. Like all my cells were like, they knew it was true.
Yes.
My brain was getting in the way.
Hmm.
And then I got the job or whatever, and it's just been a journey ever since. But yeah, yeah, that's how it happened.
And it's for some people, it's kind of like, I mean, you've been through a lot, Jamie. You definitely been through a lot. So,
I
you know,
don't realize it until I start talking. I don't realize
exactly, you know, when you start,
it.
but it's for most people, you just roll with the punches, as they say. You know, you
Mhm.
live, you have your bumps and your scrapes and whatever, and you
Yeah,
fall, you pick yourself up, etc. It's not until someone says, "Wow, you've come a long way from 10 years ago, or from
yeah.
being in that position," and you then unpack it yourself and think, "Oh, sugar, like I really have."
You know what? That's exactly something else I went through back then, though, because I'm home with him. I was kind of going through like a midlife crisis and all that. Because I was like, damn, I'm like 33. I haven't done shit with my life.
Mm,
I have a kid now, but and what I did, since I was stuck at home anyway, and we were trying to work things out, so I wasn't going anywhere. I unpacked all my boxes of flyers, ticket stubs, junk that I kept from tour, like receipts, just as
yes.
a souvenir, and I put it all over my garage. And then I sat there. I'm like, God damn, I have done why, I
Yeah, yeah.
unpacked it all, like not even fucking like metaphorically. I literally unpacked it all and looked at it.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that led to it too. Like I never processed it. I guess I had to process like my life for a second.
And I think that's key. I think we're identifying things which, until having this conversation, I didn't necessarily realize the power of unpacking your historical sort of, highs, lows, in betweens, even just holiday experiences or nostalgia boxes, because
Yeah.
everyone's got something, like, every time you go on, like for myself, I've got, every time I go on vacation, I have well, especially back in the day, remember you used to get the air flight, the airline stubs and all that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Now you
Yeah.
print it off yourself and all that
Oh
stupid
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So you collect all of those things, your old passport, you collect all of those kind of things as well. So when you look back and you think, oh my God, look at all the different countries I've been to, look how many different planes I've been in, the different airlines.
Yeah.
Just weird stuff, man.
No, I mean it made a difference. It's not like I had money and shit. Like on tour, we toured the shittiest van with no money. We barely scraped by. But I saved stuff like a receipt or a flyer, or I know when we played Las Vegas, I cashed out a ticket for 2 cents to keep as a souvenir, just because I said like the casino we were at and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, shit like that. I mean, I got pictures too, because back then we didn't have digital cameras. I had
Hmm.
boxes of pictures.
Hmm.
We disposable cameras.
Exactly. Like your
Mhm.
$3 throwaway camera, you just
Yep.
snapping away, and you get it developed. You're like, shit, I forgot about that. Oh
Yeah, or,
shit,
or
where
or
is
you don't know how it's going to turn out though. You don't know how the picture's going to be. Like, oh, I have no clue. I hope that picture turns out. You don't
yes.
see it right away. I mean, ironically, I am a photographer. That's my day job now.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's weird. It's
And I don't
weird.
I don't think we touched on this. How did you develop the photography skills?
I bullshitted my way. Well, all right. In high school, I did take photography, but I wasn't serious about it. This is the '90s, and I feel like I took that class for a reason, because I met most of my best friends in my life in that classroom. And
Ah.
not 10th grade. 10th grade. I met Ed, my singer, still today, of my music career. Almost every band I've been in. So we're still together today in a hetero way. But I met my best friend, another best friend, Judd, who my son's named after because he actually died when I was 18. But I met him in photography class too. We just took
Wow.
photography because we heard rumors you could smoke cigarettes out in the woods. They would give you hall passes to go take pictures and shit. And it was true. We did. But yeah, yeah. And then yeah, like oh, I was in a shitty grunge band. It was the mid '90s. I was like 15. And we had, we barely played like one or two little shows, and we had a show coming up. We didn't have a bass player. We needed a bass player. So we were all taking this test. like a paper test for photography.
Yeah.
So everybody
Yeah.
failed except a couple people, including me. I failed it too. So my friend Chris, who was my drummer at the time, and my friend Fathead, who was like our quote unquote band manager, just because he was an asshole, and he had like a really shitty voice, and he was only like 15, but you know, he's funny too. But like humor goes a long way with us. So like as long as you're funny, that's all I really.
This
matters.
is it. Ticks the
And
box.
so this new guy was there, and he passed it too. So they were all in the dark room, and they noticed, like we noticed, that this new guy wore shirts with guitars on the back, or a shirt like he wore like a shit, was like Faith No More shirt, or a fucking like I don't know, shit like that. But so they started talking like, oh, so that it's like, you still got that show this weekend? And they're like, yeah, we need a bass player or whatever. So he's like, oh, I play bass. So they came out and told me like, oh, we got a bass player. So I'm like, well, fuck this test, and I crumbled it up and threw it on the floor. I was like, fuck yeah, I was all excited and shit. And I'm still playing music with him today. I mean, we've been in a bunch of different bands together. But yeah.
You know what shocks me? Grunge, Jamie. I can't picture you in that.
I was really young, and it was like wannabe grunge. Yeah, like I was like, this was like 1994. I think I started my band, like 93, 94. I started the Smiz. I was really young. I was just a songwriter.
Yeah.
The first live performances, I lived in a kind of like an old retiree trailer park by the beach in Garden City, South Carolina, at 14. And I was a songwriter, but I didn't have an acoustic. I just had like a little electric guitar and a little amp. There was a coffee shop in the front of the neighborhood, and it was called Leonardo the Bagel. That's what it was called. And on Wednesday nights, they had singer-songwriter nights, and we'd walk up there, the neighborhood, kids, or mostly just me, I think, and watch like these hippies play fucking music or whatever. So I told them that I wrote songs. I was only 14. And I thought that was awesome. So I brought my little Squire guitar and my amp up there. My knees are fucking knocking, shaking, scared shitless.
Yeah.
I just did it. I was 14. I did it. And I had these stupid ass songs,
Okay.
I loved it.
What was the stupid ass songs, Jamie?
Well, one song was called Stupid Song, because my friend was like, you need to write a serious song, because all my songs were pretty stupid about monkeys and chickens and shit like that. I was really young, I didn't want to write it. But
creativity, man. That's showing the creativity, and it's showing a lot of guts, man, at that age.
Well, I knew I wanted to play music. Yeah, I knew I wanted to play music. It was scary, but.
And as they say, ain't nothing to it but to do it.
Yep. I mean, I still get anxiety shit when I get anxiety on like videos. I get anxiety when I go live, all that shit,
But it's different. It's different now, though, right?
Well, I never let anxiety stop me from doing anything.
Yeah.
Exposure. It's part of the process. It's part of the process, I guess.
Yeah.
My process,
Yeah. You're right. I have the same things, but I don't necessarily go live anymore. When I used to, that's when I used to get the big butterflies. Whenever we used to do like the blog talks, or we used to do the YouTube lives and stuff, that used to be for the countdown. Is it on? Exactly.
It's so weird looking back 5 years ago when I first started doing this, trying to figure out how to do just one of these with somebody, because like one of the guys I was in, that I liked his videos, and started talking to him, and he's one of the ones that inspired me to start making videos. His name was Jay Noir, Noir. He lived in Atlanta. Yeah, he stopped making videos a long time ago. I don't even know if you can find him anymore. But the reason I even saw him is that there was this channel back then. I forget what it was called, but it's one of those just generic channels like Forbidden News or some generic name like that, but with a lot of subscribers, like 300,000 subscribers, something like that. And all they did was take other people's videos, like conspiracy type videos or whatever, and put them,
re-upload them.
Keep re-uploading. But I mean, it got info out, and that's how I heard them. And shit, where was I going with that? I forget. Oh yeah. So we were trying to do like one of these 5 years ago, and it would never work out. And I tried to do it from my end. I had this shitty laptop that was all messed up and the sound all fucked up. We couldn't use that.
Yeah.
Now it's just like so simple. It's so simple now.
Yeah, it's seamless now. That I do it. embrace certain elements of the technology because it allows me to do what I'm doing right now. There's clearly downsides to it, but yeah, in the olden days, like doing this, what video wise, you had to pay for bandwidth and get programs, all kind of different stuff. So yeah, we've come a long way.
yeah, definitely. We definitely have. There's good. It's good and bad. I mean, I embrace it because I still make my videos on a phone. It's easier, it's quicker. With some of these apps, like, I mean, I usually just use like iMovie because it's so simple. But if I want a little extra thing here and there, I'll use a Video Leap. If I want like words, like instead, like some animation on my words, like, just things like that. But excuse me, it's pretty simple though. Anybody can do it.
It's and as you can see, everybody and anybody are sort of creating content. Since this zombie apocalypse, the amount of content creators, and some real good content creators, I might add, but there's a lot of shit out there, Jamie.
Oh yeah. I think anybody that has it in them that feels like this kind of like idea that they would want to try to like create content, I think they should do it.
Yeah.
There ain't nothing to do but to do it. Is that what you just said? Something like that?
Yeah. You know where the waters get very muddy though is when people are doing it, not necessarily. Well, it's not for me to judge, but for what we're doing, it's about trying to incite thought. It's about giving people options. It's about just giving an alternative view on something which is pretty much cast iron. Sometimes there's a bit of speculation and hypothesis, but generally we're giving you facts.
I think I know. Are you going? I think I know where you might be going.
Yeah.
At first you're a little naive. I was. And yeah, you end up putting out a lot of disinfo, or some at least.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
You get that element, but then you also get people who are just in it for just being on a platform to grow subscriberships to then yield money from it. None of my channels have ever been monetized, not necessarily these days, because the new channels have all been shadow banned to God knows. But the historical channels, when I had 1.3 million subscribers, that wasn't monetized, not at all.
I was briefly on a video channel. I was monetized a couple times on my live channels, but they took that away too.
Look now, but Jamie, that was my old chain of thought. Okay.
Yeah.
My old chain of thought. I was putting hours in creating new content. It wasn't literally uploading old content. Everything I was doing was created. And for me, it was like, I want to uplift fallen humanity. I don't need to be paid for this. My payment is the comments that I get back, the emails.
I know what you mean. Yeah, exactly. Yeah? Exactly.
But today, in the Gregorian year of 2022, time is so precious. I think I potentially would monetize the channel if given an opportunity, especially with the different algorithms and stipulations to be able to have a monetized channel.
Yeah, I mean, shit, you gotta live. No, I know what you mean. That's why, I don't. When I first started, I didn't have a PayPal or any of that. I mean, I had a personal one, and people were like, "You should get this, that. I would donate to you." So I don't even say nothing. I just put links in there because I figured if people want to, they'll find it and they will. Exactly. And it's always appreciated, but never. It's like taking tips.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with tips. I don't ask for it, but I'm not going to turn you down.
Of course not. Not. It makes perfect sense. If you're happy and you love it, and you want to, go that step further outside of subscribing, outside of sharing, outside of commenting, by all means, exactly. you'd be a fool not to. Unless you're some sort of multi-conglomerate millionaire or something, then of course not. You wouldn't accept money from a fellow subscriber or something like that. Definitely.
They probably would, because that's why they're a million.
Every penny counts, right?
Yeah, I guess so. No, I would feel awkward myself, But I work full time. It's a hobby, so anything extra is extra.
This is it. Now, if this was your full-time gig, then
I'd make a lot more fucking videos if it was.
Exactly. A lot more content,
Yeah.
the things would be a very different, and hats off to the people who this is, creating content.
I wish I could, because I love doing it, and I would do it full time if I could. I wish I could.
Yes, 100%.
Unfortunately, it don't pay the bills, and I got mouths to feed.
Exactly, and we have a lifestyle to maintain, etc., etc. So yeah, but it's a wonderful space. It's a wonderful space. I've come across, as I say, since the zombie apocalypse, I've come across so many different content creators. And I've also seen a lot of people who have came for the first, them did like maybe 6 or 7, maybe even 12 episodes or what podcasts, and then there's just nothing. Like, wait a minute, where's the commitment? Like, you was doing goods, and then
That's why I want to start a podcast, but I did one episode and I haven't done one since. It's hard for me because you know how it is.
Yes,
this is our third time. You gotta track me down, chase me down a little bit.
But I would class your Stone Philosophers as podcast.
Kind of, yeah. It's just me, but yeah, kind of. I mean, it's definitely group participation. Like anybody's. One of these days, I'll do like a call in or something. One of these days, I owe it to everybody but it helps me and it helps them, and it's nothing serious.
This is it. There's no specific agenda on the table kind of thing. It's just free flowing. Whatever's on the comments, just go with it kind of thing.
Yep. Oh, I love improving, just because I don't prepare for nothing. So
yeah. So listen, that's, for me, that is the essence of life. To a point. You definitely got to prep and plan, in regards to traveling and stuff, but in regards to just being spontaneous and just like on the fly, let's do it. I've got an idea of what I want to do today, but let's see how the day sort of unfolds and unpacks.
Sometimes I'm like, especially at first, you'll be tongue tied trying to just go on with it.
Yeah.
But and I still am sometimes. Sometimes I'll get stumped, but just most of the time I surprise myself and crack myself up, just like running off what people are saying. I think we were talking about, I think last night on the live stream, we were talking about, because I put a post out, like, if shit hit the fan, would you A, eat bugs? B, eat your neighbor's ass, or C, eat Beyond Burgers, which is probably bugs in disguise.
Exactly.
So free flowing as it is. What would we say? I said I would eat. I don't eat ass. I'm not trying to get all personal, but I don't eat ass. But I think I would eat my neighbor's ass because I don't eat bugs. Fuck the WEF or World Wrestling Federation or whatever.
Yeah.
But then it clicked. Eating ass. You ever see that movie Alive? You know what I'm talking about, with the plane crashes into the mountains?
Yeah, Venice.
They were dying. They ate their pilot's ass raw. They didn't even cook it. They ate it raw.
You couldn't cook it, could they? Yeah.
No, they ate raw ass and they lived.
Yeah. So. I remember watching it as a child, and I was like, I knew it was real, but at the same time, I just thought they had dramatized a lot of it.
Yeah, I never read the book. I had a copy. I never read it though.
But when I started to do the research on it, I was like, my gosh.
They really ate the ass.
It wasn't just one, it was 2 bodies, I think they actually ate.
Yeah. I think they ate both pilots.
Yes.
Yeah, both pilots. They got them into it, they said, or some shit like that.
How would you, I mean.
I feel like I want it, but I'm not in that situation.
Yeah, exactly. We, from a comfortable space that we're in right now, in nice warm conditions, with food, a full belly and stuff. It's survival ultimately. I think.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
No, and I think that must have changed them as people after having to go
I don't
through
know.
that.
I don't know. I mean, it's gonna be hard to live with, number one. But then again, if you go about it in a thankful way.
Yeah.
Thank the pilot because you helped me live. I don't know. It's gonna be odd though. It's gonna be an odd fucking thing. Probably a lot of drugs after that. I'd just be numb.
Of course. And then what about the family of the pilots?
Oh God, yeah, because they know it's not like they got a secret. I would have been like, don't fucking tell nobody. Like, we'll make a pact right now. We ain't eat no ass.
Yeah.
We ain't eat any raw ass. You couldn't even lie and say you cooked it first. You fucking admitted you ate it raw.
Oh man.
Wash your mouth, boy.
That is a terrible situation to be in. I don't think there's anything been anything similar to that, has there, since that
Not
incident?
that I know of. I mean, I remember the movie. I like that one and Fire in the Sky that came out around that time too. The aliens.
Yes. Oh,
I don't think he ate any ass in
but
the
they did something.
aliens.
They did something to him, though, didn't they?
Yeah. Hey, at least the pilots didn't get prodded. So it was probably like CIA or something, you know, because if there are aliens, which I think is very much possible, I mean, but that kind of shit is probably like just drugged CIA shit, you know, all that kind
That's
of like
what
prod.
you know what, Jamie? I think exactly the same thing. I really don't think that an advanced civilization is gonna really, and even if there was, because if you look at it, the way I can kind of make this make sense is if we look at, you know, when you remember I can't remember what you called them, the ant colonies that you'd make at school, the two
What are
pieces
they?
of glass, two
Two
pieces of
pieces.
glass, and then you get the different bits of soil in there, and you put ants in there, and you can see how they're
Oh
coloring.
yeah. Like an ant farm. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So I
Yeah.
can picture that as a scenario, as like something, like a greater
Watching
technological.
us.
Yeah, kind of like, look,
They don't need to interfere.
this is the thing.
They don't need to probe our assholes or eyeballs or anything, you
You
know.
know.
I bet you got pink eye after that. Did they sterilize it in between? What are they doing? What are you sticking in there?
This is it. So
I
yeah,
think some sick human being, like elite
yeah,
motherfuckers, would put on some like fake alien mask and then go
yes.
stick shit up people's assholes, probably.
Yes, that sounds just about right. That sounds just about.
What,
And
bud? Oh, can you wait a few minutes?
so let's switch it up a little bit as we wind down, Senor. Topical news. First thing that jumps to mind, and I know you've covered this historically, is the 30-year sentencing of the R&B quote unquote star. I'll piss and shit on your belly, Kelly.
Yeah, I just heard that actually because like I've been so busy at work, but yeah, I just heard about that. I haven't really like looked at it at all though.
It
But
it's from the veneer, because again, I haven't. Again, work crisis has been crazy. But just from what I've gathered, and just from the sentencing, it seems very unequal. Isn't there someone who's got like a book with lots of stuff, who's connected to someone who allegedly did
yeah,
something, and you know,
yeah. She got 20 years. He got 30 years,
uh,
and nobody else's names
yeah,
have been like, you know, I just put a video out this morning where I did name, you know, that the names were already out. The ones that have actually been accused of doing
mhm,
something though,
yes,
not just on the plane or
indeed.
yeah. So that's 11 names right there. But there's a lot more than 11.
Of
So
course, which is scary, and I think that they're scrambling, and I think of sorts this is a message in house as well to say, like, you know,
oh,
if you're gonna,
they're at the same prison, aren't they?
yeah,
I forgot all about that. Damn.
it's like,
Damn.
if you're gonna be continuing doing this stuff that we do, you better make sure that this does not come to light.
Yeah. Yeah. It's got to though. It's got to.
It has to, because
I
this
mean,
is,
how gonna the way we're like they pulled all this shit. I think that's one of well, I mean, they've had a plan for a long time, but it definitely was right on time, or maybe pulled a little early, the whole COVID thing, because we were right on their asses, man.
oh yeah,
You know?
majorly, because you think about it as well, the Prince Andrew stuff, which was one of the main things that were connected, and the
Yeah.
US government wants to have a conversation on the next thing you know, the whole world.
Yep. Yep. Because I know they had this plan, but it kind of feels like they rushed it. You
Mm,
know, they had because like it was September
yeah,
of 2019 when the
yeah,
big article came out in the New York Times, I think, the one
yes,
with Bill Gates and Epstein and all of them on that picture and all these connections and like even on I forget which news, but like mainstream media were even saying like he's got his own private jet, blah blah
yeah,
blah, you know, 6 times, probably more. They weren't forthcoming, blah blah blah. Well, within a month, Event 201 happened. Within a
yes,
month,
yes.
probably. If I, it's been a long time since I looked, I don't remember exactly when Event 201 was. I'm pretty sure it was early October, but I could be
October.
wrong.
It was October,
It
100%.
was October. I don't
Yeah.
know what date though, but I think that article came out on the 25th of September, 26th that year. So it wasn't far after though.
Connecting the dots, man. You just gotta connect the dots. The thing about how fast-paced this society is currently, there's just so much stuff. So they're literally just throwing it all at us. And
it's like we're on their ass. They're just fucking more. They're throwing like there's some wild dogs or something like that. I think I heard that analogy once, and now I just like blanked. Throwing us a piece of meat here and there, stopping us. Yeah, well, yeah, that makes sense. It is a good analogy. I just said it wrong.
But it's and you'll have people from some parts that are looking at certain areas of the shit that's being thrown, and then other people
you have to. Nobody can look at it all, you know.
No, you can't.
Yeah, that's why there's so much info. That's why I have to really be interested in whatever info I'm looking at to do anything, you know.
It's like Johnny 5, more input.
Oh yeah, dude, I've written a poem about that before, right? Because I agree. Because I wrote this before. I found out a lot more that I know about now, like with transhumanism or something. So I didn't mean it in that kind of a way, but when I did write it, I meant it more like an organic.
Yes.
Johnny 5, like, you know, need more input, blah blah blah. But now I don't like comparing myself to robots.
No. Short circuit, definitely not. But that's an excellent segue, because there was a article last week about that Google engineer from San Francisco who has been fired for claiming that the AI Lammy, whatever it is sentient. You heard about that?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so
this dude, he worked for who? Microsoft? What did you say he worked for?
I'm sure it was Google or Microsoft.
Google.
Yeah, one of the two.
And he said it was this AI was a sentient.
It's
being,
become
like
sentient. Yeah, there's a thread on Twitter. Sentient. It has become sentient. There's a thread on Twitter, on his Twitter page, where the conversation has been screenshots. I've read some of it, and it does kind of, from the veneer again, from the surface, it does look like, okay, this is like an intelligent conversation of sorts. It's an AI. It's been programmed, as you said, input. Yeah. Humans have input and have programmed an algorithm to say, okay, once you have learned this, these are the patterns based upon what we're inputting of the responses that you can give. So I still think personally that there's, because in essence, the triggering things is he was asking the AI questions like, how do you feel about yourself? What are you? And, and it was kind of saying, well, do you feel sad? Talking about emotions and stuff like that. But these are just programmed responses ultimately.
Yeah, they could be. Yeah. And words are so arbitrary.
Yeah.
That, and because I see they pull this all the time now, like the quote unquote experts and elites, they bend words and definitions. Mm-hmm. They straight up invert them. And that's a pattern worth looking at. If something's if they're putting it out in an inverted way, especially I've noticed if it's a much older word and it's the complete opposite, a couple, for instance, being number one, I always thought apocalypse, growing up, I always thought that meant like the end of the world, volcanoes, fire, like getting hit by meteors or something. And it means uncovering.
Yeah.
It means disclosing. It means revealing, revelation. It's inverted, the way they present it. Well, yes. Another one that's kind of inverted, virus actually means poison, like liquid poison.
Yeah.
That's what it meant.
Yeah.
And they sure do like it. If they can say you have one, they can poison you.
You see the words and they all tie up and link together.
Yeah.
It's masterful that these wicked entities.
Yeah, really. I mean, you know what, though, if you really think about it, though, there's some kind of, I mean, you can even just say energy behind these kind of agenda, because it wouldn't be multi-generational plans.
Yeah, and this is what people, unfortunately, looking at it, taking religious connotations away from it. This is a fight about good and evil. Simple
And
as.
that's what it comes down to.
Yeah. Simple. And
But
it's
here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. Unfortunately, good can exist without evil, but it's been too out of balance. Like we got to be like
yeah.
we got to be like 3/4. We could be rolling like that,
Indeed.
But we've been like this way.
Yeah.
We've been out of balance.
Mm-hmm.
And
Totally.
it's like we don't want to be balanced though, because we don't want to be balanced with evil. It's got to exist though, which is unfortunate, and we can't stamp it out completely.
Yeah, because it's almost like a reminder that evil is a reminder of what good is.
Yeah, well,
just
just
what good should.
If I'm having like a bad day and I'm all depressed and shit like that and worried, anxious, and I don't mean to be a bummer to everybody when I am, but I understand that if I didn't have like a bad day sometimes, I wouldn't realize what a good one was.
This is it.
Yeah.
It's almost like a utopic society where there is no bad is Robotville, isn't it? In essence.
Yeah, it is. You're right.
We can get close to a utopian society where there is,
that's something. Well, I think it's because I just reread this book, but yeah, that's something they go for. They try. Well, I didn't mean to cut you off either, but you just remind me of something. It was a book I just reread, and I put a video out called "Pawns in the Game," and the book was from 1956. Well, he put out another book before he died. No, it was after he died. His son put it out. He had written it though, called "Satan, Prince of this World," and he was talking about Luciferian thing or whatever.
Yeah,
it's inverted.
Mm-hmm.
He was talking about one thing that they tried to do. Well, he said, like, God put everything out so everything as much differences as possible. Everyone's unique. Just like think of a field of beautiful flowers, all different, but they all go together.
Mm-hmm.
And they say what they do. He was the guy in the book was saying what they do is they try to make everything like a conglomerate and make everything the same.
Yeah.
And if you look at it, they do. Here's something that I noticed traveling around. It's nice to go to other places because they're different. But lately I've noticed whether I'm in my town, Myrtle Beach, which is a tourist town, it's a beach, or I go up to the mountains somewhere, it looks like my beach town with all the same corporations with a different background. Instead of a beach, it's mountains. Yeah. It's the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
And they try to make everything the same.
The building, even the architecture, if you notice, the architecture is just like you go to, it doesn't matter where you go. You see a TK Maxx, you see a McNasty's, you see a Ken Doty, whatever the franchise is, and it's the same.
Yeah, they try to make everything the same. Why do you think they're forcing one thing? They're trying to force on everybody because everybody's the same. Since when has medicine been everybody's the fucking same? Take the fucking same thing, Never. Everybody's different. I think they're trying to do it with genders too. They just want to make everybody like sexless, whatever that word is. I forget, asexual or whatever.
Asexual.
Like,
yeah.
They try to blend us. You ever see that South Park episode with the people from the future? The goo people?
I'm not a South Park fan, but
okay, well, yeah, they all the breeding, all the races and stuff all bred together. So now everyone just this bland color with this weird language, and they're just like they all look exactly the same, kind of almost like in a way, kind of like gray aliens. Is what it looks like. No, they're not like they don't have much emotion, I don't think. Well, the gray aliens don't.
No, they don't. Yeah, according to what's been sort of thrust upon us and been sort of disclosed. There's little emotion. There's little distinguishing fact features.
And that also works if it's CIA. No emotion.
Of course. I mean, when we look at the prototypical alien deity or figure, should we say? That was channeled by Aleister Crowley. That's Lamb.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Like, so we've got that, which is a potential for me. That's not CIA. That is something out of this plane of existence.
Yeah, I used to meditate a lot, and not that I've like tried to do anything with anything, but just like sometimes you'll see if you're in that state, you'll see lights in your head and stuff, and sometimes it looks like. I mean, I don't know if it's my head or something, but like a face or something will appear. I'm not like, I'd never communicate with everything, nor do I intend on trying, but sometimes is it my head?
Well, no, well, yeah, I would say yes.
And no.
Yes and no, yeah, because of course we've got an imagination. So think
Yeah.
about all of the stored memories that we've got outside of the
Oh my
memories.
God.
Yeah.
This is crazy. What you just said there, stored memories. One time I saw, just like after, I actually haven't meditated in a while. I mean, I do a little bit, but I pass out. So nothing like that. But I used to get in a deep meditation. I was trying to get off methadone and all that. One time it was like always, everything's kind of like a goldish light when this does happen, kind of like sparkly in a way. It looked like a bunch of translucent balls, like all just like stacked up on each other. And if you picked it up, I saw like a little boy with suspenders walking
Wow.
down stairs. That's what it looked like in light though. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
colored.
yeah.
And I thought, I mean, I don't know what it was, but I assumed it was me as a kid. And I'm like, is this memories? Is this stored memories? And you know what it reminded me of? I don't know if you've seen it. Never Ending Story Part 2, which sucks, by the way, which sucks, but it's like Part 1, I mean, Part 1's awesome, Part 2 sucks.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing. They're collecting his memories.
Yes.
So I don't know if that's why I saw that way, because I saw the movie when I was younger or what, but you just remind me of it. Yeah. Yeah. It's happened once. So
that's, well, once you start to go back into your the yoga, which potentially may lead you to start to to meditate, you'll be surprised. We may have to revisit this on another catch up to see if you have elicited other experiences which you can maybe attribute to a film, or if it is indeed a very old. I mean, what is the oldest memory that you can recall, Jamie?
I don't really know. I'm gonna guess when I was probably around 3 or 4. Just this apartment we lived in, which would have been around the time my brother was born. I don't know which memory came first, but that's the first place I remember. I had these 2 little girlfriends. My mom caught us behind the bush, stripping down naked. We played Superman, kind of like Doctor. I'm not gonna get into it, but I was a kid. I was a kid too. I mean, I was a kid.
Innocence, man, innocence.
Yeah.
The oldest memory I can recall would be being in nappies, running around. So I guess I would have been at least 1 plus.
Yeah.
And I remember just the grass, everything just being giant. Just like everything was just like massive. Even the grass was like taller than me and stuff. And just flashes of memories. But I don't really recall, because I've spoken to people and they recall being not almost being born, but like a very, very early stages of life, which is amazing if it's indeed correct.
You probably could with like hypnosis or something like that,
Power of hypnosis. Neil Sanders is a trained hypnotherapist and stuff, and he says apparently the power of hypnosis is you can do a lot with that.
Yeah, well, and I know that's the thing, it can be used for, because people will say, oh, hypnosis, but I guess just trust your inner self, I guess, because yes, everything can be used for good or bad. It's including hypnosis, including technology. I make videos on a phone, but you could I assume you could probably get, if you worked on it, you could probably remember as far back. I don't know how far, but yeah.
What's last 2 things as we wrap this up? What's your thoughts on past lives and that kind of stuff, reincarnation?
Well, there's different ways to look at it. There's which is everything like that, because you could say reincarnation is like, well, I mean, one of the people that helped me wake up, quote unquote wake up, was Alan Watts, philosopher. He died in 1973, though, 7 years before I was born, but a lot of lectures and stuff, and he helped me see a lot of stuff. 'Cause I looked at everything literally in like that whole spiritual realm, and I realized we can't put what we can't conceive in literal. It can't be. It's metaphorically, so we can conceive it. Yeah. So when I saw it that way, I started seeing how a lot of things, I could see that now. I can see that now. Basically, we all come from we're all humans. We all come from the same like tree, the same root. Just like on a tree out back, every year the leaves die and they come back. Are they the same in one way? Yeah. Are they different in that way? Yeah. They're the same and different. And we know that people die, and then people were born later. And that's the only proof you need for reincarnation, because we're all people. We're all that center of awareness, that I feeling, you know.
I like that
Now,
analogy.
yeah. So I mean, I don't. And they say, if say this is like a true, I don't know if there's a continuum, but in a way there is, because in a way, like, we're all this awareness, all coming from the same place. So in that way, it continues always. But the ego, I guess,
yeah,
the ego, but I already walked through that illusion. So
thank God.
I know.
It's still tricky. He still wears his heads from time to time.
Take it for how it is, what it is.
But the question with that is, again, I'll reiterate, that was an excellent sort of analogy in regards to trees and the budding of new leaves and stuff. But the difference with that, the difference with that is we come from the same source, but we're all individual energy sources in this finite body, this three-dimensional realm. So the way reincarnation is sort of how I encapsulate it is the same energy source is then now going to be reincarnated to manifest in a physical sense back into the same reality, where I don't necessarily think that I can kind of understand, okay, it's going to continue to happen until you learn the lessons and then you move on to, and that sounds cool and all, but I don't think the energy source is going to come back to this three-dimensional realm. I think it's going to move to the fifth, sixth, seventh dimension, if we're going to look at it in that sense.
Maybe if you're saying there's like that continuum, if you learn your lessons, baby, then yeah, I can see that.
So you're just stuck in a loop of voice.
You know what? How I told you the whole story about my awakening.
Mm-hmm.
I was stuck in a loop pattern where I would be in a relationship until I was miserable, cheat, get caught, break up, leave. I was stuck in that pattern. Well, I broke the pattern and I went up.
Yes.
So yes, exactly.
Yes. That's it. That's the life lesson. That is the life lesson. Learn the lesson, experience.
I came home, I faced my shadow, and shit started changing for the better too,
Yeah,
definitely.
And that's what it's about. Another wonderful conversation, Senor. Have you had fun again today?
Oh, of course. I enjoy it every time. Every time.
Most definitely. As usual, I will make sure I put the links below down in the descriptions. What have you got up and coming before you go?
I don't know. I don't plan for tomorrow for anything. I just go. But the best way to find me is because I was kicked off YouTube a bunch. Linktree banned me. They kicked me off.
Oh yeah, I remember. So you still banned off that then?
Yeah, so I started a website just pretty much for a central source for people to find my videos everywhere I upload. So it's deluxenation.com.
Simple as. Okay. Keep it simple, stupid, as we like to say. So deluxenation.com. Make sure you bookmark that. If you just stumbled across Jamie, you've got a plethora of work out there. Some short, nice clips if you want. If you want some detailed bits and pieces, you've still got that in the back catalog as well. So have a binge. Definitely check out The Stone Philosopher. I thoroughly enjoy that channel. They're not really messing with you on that channel, are they?
Well, they started to when I started streaming documentaries. So I just got back from a 2-week strike. So I am pretty close to losing it. I'm gonna try to be good for a minute though.
Yeah.
I was streaming old AIDS documentaries.
Oh, Jamie.
I know. I never learned. They got me for guinea pig kids, that old BBC documentary from 2004.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Definitely. I'll put that up onto the BitChute and stuff.
Yeah, it's up there. It's up there.
Yeah. Perfect.
You know what? I'll send you a link. I'll send you a couple links when we're done.
Yeah.
And that way you want to put them in the notes or whatever.
Sounds like a plan. Mm-hmm. So as we do always, like, comment, subscribe, share, tell a friend, jump on to the train. Catch you on the rewind.